welcome to another episode of Practical IT. I'm Jeremy, and today we're going to be looking at KDE NEON, which is a distribution of Linux based on Ubuntu 18.04, running the KDE desktop. So let's get started. Alright, so we go ahead and log in. Here we've got our standard KDE desktop, which it's been a while since I've used KDE. I've been using mostly server-based versions of Linux for a lot of my projects. And when I have used the desktop, I've normally been using the standard Ubuntu with GNOME because that's what so many other people are using these days. However, once in a while, I like to go back to my roots and take a look at KDE and just see what they've changed since the last time I took an in-depth look. So, first off, I was very impressed with this particular distribution to find out that my meta key is actually mapped by default to kick the menu up. So if you're coming from a Windows background, you will probably appreciate this feature. So in their menu, you've got favorites, applications, computer, history, and leave gets you to the lock, log out, sleep, restart, and shut down menu. So heading over to applications, I've added just a couple of things like after completing the install of KDE NEON, I have added Git, NeoFetch, and LibreOffice. I've also downloaded KRDC and Lynis. So other than that, I've run updates and everything else is just bog standard out of the fresh install, and so we'll take a look at a couple things. So Office, we've got LibreOffice, which appears to be launching fairly quick, and just for the sake of argument, this is LibreOffice 6.0.7.3. Go ahead and close that. So we want terminal. Blow that up full size and increase the size of our text and run NeoFetch. And as you can see, it's running a 4.18 kernel. KDE NEON User Edition 5.16, 64-bit. Got sort of an odd resolution going at 1880 by 1014. And we've got what I've normally set up is 4 gigs of RAM, of which currently is using 851 megabytes, and it's got 2 processor cores. The acid test is going to be going into Lynis, and we're going to do sudo Lynis audit system. Enter to continue. I should mention that one thing I did do different than most of my installs is that I did create separate partitions for root, var, temp, and home. Actually, suggestions that I've picked up on from previous runs of Lynis. So the hardening index, just with the software that's installed, no real configuration at this point, is a 69, which is actually a little bit higher than many of the other Linux distributions I have run Lynis on. So that's encouraging. Won't bore you with the process of going through and trying to get this up to around at 80, but it can be done. It just takes a little bit of time and perseverance. So let's go ahead and quit our console terminal and take a look at what else we get here. So one of the things worth mentioning, I suppose, is their system settings application. And the one thing I really like about how they've done this, besides the multitude of options they've got, they have added frequently used easy access icons to allow you to do things like change your look and feel, your user manager, and changing the display. So this is so far one of the best modern distributions I've seen at doing an auto resize after installing the VirtualBox Guest Editions, which I guess I did not mention earlier when I was rattling off what I'd installed. Let's see. So look and feel, as you might guess, this is going to allow you to change from light to dark mode. Preview that, escape, and we're going to apply that because why not? Everything else is going towards dark mode these days, so we'll follow the pack. So you've also got workspace themes, so you can change the splash screen, customize that. You can change your cursors. And on a dark theme, you may want to use the light colored cursor set. Plasma theme, and it gives you different options there. Going down the list, of which there are many, many options. KDE Connect allows you to connect and sync your devices, namely Android printers. KDE has traditionally done a good job of installing printers. Just for giggles, we will go through, and it actually detected my brother printer. We'll just go ahead and install that. Choose driver from list. It's loading the list of drivers available. And so we'll do brother. And this is going to be an HL 5370 DW. Next. Description. That's fine. We're not going to share it. Finish. And it's added the printer. We are going to make that default printer. Under configure, it'll give us options to change the name, page size, resolution, and whether you want to do banners and set policies and allowed users. I'm not going to bother with that right now. Removable storage gives you different options here. Device actions, so that you don't end up running software by default when something's plugged in. Gives you digital camera options and your basic removable devices like hard drives and flash drives. Your right-click menu on the desktop allows you to create new folders and the same basic type of stuff that you see in most operating systems. You can arrange icons, run commands, add widgets, panels, and activities. And then you can do open with Dolphin and configure desktop. Dolphin being the file manager application that comes with KDE. As you can see, it's taken some cues from Finder in macOS. It does show each of the partitions as separate drives. All of our stuff here. There's our home partition. And it's got my stuff in it. And you can see where I've downloaded Lynis. moving on, one last thing, we'll take a look at their software center. Which is pretty similar to other software centers, but it's got a KDE sort of twist to it. We look at About. This is the Discover app, and it's developed by the Plasma development team. KDE Frameworks 55.59 and Qt version 5.12.3. Look at Plasma add-ons. Got all kinds of different things. One thing of note is the fonts that are available, and there's quite a number here, which would be really nice. One thing to note, or worth note, is open logos. So we'll jump back here and we'll look at applications. Let's do graphics just for the sake of argument. And Krita is a KDE centric painting app. Of course, there's GIMP, Darktable, Krita, that's listed twice. Yep, that's listed twice. Let's see. Ocular, which is their default document viewer, and just a bunch of good items available in here. And I suppose the last thing we should do is look at the tray. We've got one notification. Updates available, it's saying. Fine. Clipboard. Recent device. Networks. Which that's going to be, I believe, based on Network Manager with a KDE wrapper around it. Not bad. Let's see, we've got vaults, volume, hidden icons, show desktop, and configure panel. Alright, one last thing I do want to try out, and that is, we'll go to Dolphin, and do that over here, and let's just see how we go about in this. I'm mounting new network drives. So if we navigate to network, it brings us up several options. We can look at the network, which isn't bringing us up anything. SMB folders, again, nothing. Add network folder. So we are going to do a Windows network drive, and we'll say just to call it NAS because it is on my NAS, and this is going to be SMB : 2.16.74.110, and that's going to be downloads. We'll do save and connect. Maybe it doesn't want. There we go. And so it actually goes through and it connects and shows our different folders available here. And probably something I don't have a lot on. Let's see, there we go. So some old files from when I was in grad school, but this is all good. Alright, so that was easy enough. Actually, I would say that's easier than what it is in Windows. On that note, this is Jeremy signing off for the Practical IT channel. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications. Feel free to leave comments down below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.